Oh, you're watching.
Ah, that was quick.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm great. And technology worked today.
I
Ora.
know, that was so quick. I was surprised.
Well, that's because last time I was a novice and this time I'm getting pretty good.
Live and learn. That's the thing, isn't
Live
it?
and learn. Live and learn. So we're so excited about the expo. It's coming
I
up
was
so quick.
just saying, I look super tired, but I'm actually excited because it's only 2.5 weeks now. I can't believe it. The last bit always flies for me. It just goes like whoop, and we're there.
I know. I know we're so excited. Everything's in place, and we're just finishing on the final
Oh,
touches, and we're so
oh.
excited. I didn't tell you we have surrogate coming as well.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome
Yeah.
because that's the thing that people are curious the most, I think, is asking about a surrogate. Oh, so you were just
But
saying you're bringing a surrogate, and I was just saying that everybody should use this opportunity to ask her 1,000,001 questions.
yes, and to meet her because a lot of people have preconceptions, or they think they know what a surrogate is.
Yeah.
But she's amazing. She's like really 99% of our surrogates. She's has a higher education. She worked as a accountant
Wow.
in a huge firm, and so she's also now our surrogate coordinator.
That's
So
nice.
you'll be able to one of our and talk with her about all our other surrogates and how it all works, where they live so that they're safe and everything else.
Well, I'm quite excited to meet her because I always like to hear the story, how it was for them, the journey, and what made them decide to do that, because that's such an important and interesting question. And it's different for everyone. And it's just different to hear yeah, completely different thing every time. And I love to hear it.
Well,
So maybe we do a
you'll
live
actually be
with her on site.
surprised how you'll be surprised how similar the stories are, though, in terms of the reasons they join. So that's it's just really it's really important because I think a lot of people think they know why they do it, and I think they'll be really surprised.
I think so as well. Yeah, that's why I'm quite excited.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about
Yes,
just
we're here
one.
to talk about Ghana.
Ghana is something that I don't think anyone thinks of when they think of surrogacy. So there's a few countries that pop in your head, and I think when you start your journey, it's not really a country that comes in to your head and think like, oh, let's go to
No,
Ghana. So
no.
can you?
Well, the reason we're in Ghana is because at Delivering Dreams, we want everything to be perfectly legal. And in Ukraine, as most people know, you have to be a traditionally married uh, couple. You have to
Yeah.
be married. And so in Ghana, they have rules very similar to the US.
Mm.
Um, and they put these into place not long ago, which is really the reason a lot of people haven't heard about it. Um, but they're very similar to the US in terms of that pretty much anyone can do surrogacy. And yes,
Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to say I've been reading, you sent us a really interesting blog article about this as well. So if anyone feels like this is going too quick and they don't have any information, there's a super blog article on our website, and obviously you can meet Delivering Dreams at the event. But I just want to say I've been reading this and I found it really interesting that it's open for literally everyone. So there's no
mhm.
gender restriction, there's no age restriction, which is a really big thing. I think it's quite exciting for a lot of people. Um, yeah, you can do it as a single as well, which is quite exciting.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's 100% legal. So it's not like, you have to fake this or fake that, or it's kind of a gray area. The absolute wonderful thing is whoever's doing it, single man, single woman, couple, their names are on the birth certificate.
Mm.
So if you're a single person, let's say a single man, we're actually working with several from Germany. His name is the only person on the birth certificate as the parent.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, no mention of a surrogate, no mention of a donor. It's a single parent. He is the sole parent of that custom as that child. and in they're very similar to the U.S. or no, actually Ukraine, not in the U.S. That is his child from conception.
Mm.
So the surrogate mother will never have any rights to custody or claims, for that child.
Yeah, like I said, I find it really fascinating that this is a completely open country, which is I don't think um, people expect either from Ghana. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe I have misconceptions,
Yeah.
so I'm happy for
Well,
you to
I'll tell
describe
you what
them.
the misconceptions are. Everyone
Yes,
hears Ghana and they go, oh my God, Africa, Africa, Africa. And the thing everyone has to understand is that Ghana or Africa is a huge continent
yeah,
and that there are, I wish I knew, I'd counted them before this live, but probably 30 different countries. And Ghana has a lot of money. And if you go to Accra, you're seeing huge, big modern skyscrapers and, everyone, oh, here's a big plus. Everyone speaks English. It's pretty much
amazing.
their native. Yeah. So everyone speaks English. You can communicate with your surrogate. And we are the only people down there that allow, which is interesting, communication with your surrogate directly. Um,
Mm.
they speak English. So it's really
Yeah,
easy and fun.
yeah,
Um, and so this huge misconception that people are terribly poor, that they're, bad health, I can't even tell you horrible stories, that they're all going to get diseases, that,
yeah.
that they're living, in the
Mm.
forest. Or excuse me, there are really horrible misconceptions about Africa and the level of wealth. Yes, some countries, we all know, even war, but Ghana is extremely safe. I can
Mm.
walk down the streets at night, no problem, single, by myself, and absolutely no
Yeah,
problem. People are super friendly. The food is absolutely amazing. If you like spice, um, times of year it is hot, and times of year there is a lot of rainfall,
amazing.
but that's similar to it's on the equator really,
Yeah,
and it's not that far.
mm.
It's not a big flight.
Yeah,
Um, so all in all, while people will have a lot of preconceptions when they hear that the word Africa,
yeah,
um, I think that that's kind of like Ukraine 20 years ago. That's what we compare
yeah.
it with, where people were like, "Oh my God, Ukraine, do they even have toilets?" But it's true, Christine. It is so true. We have been
I
asked
know.
this. Yes.
I can imagine. That's why it's like it's you notice yourself doing it. I've heard Ghana and I was like, Ghana? But then I was like, idiot. You know,
Well,
we're not
no,
speaking
everyone's
it,
like,
so
oh my God, it's Africa. Oh my God. And how can the medical care be good? It's impossible. They're all going to get substandard. We don't know what's a medical care. And so the medical care, the one thing that's I think you might have read in that article, that's because the law is relatively new, I want to say 3 or 4 years, that kind of it is like Ukraine 20 years ago.
mm,
Um, it's a blossoming of lots and lots of doctors, lots and lots of new clinics,
yeah,
lots and lots of new hospitals that are doing
yeah,
surrogacy. And it is really, really hard to go through and know who really is an
mm,
expert at what they do. And
yeah,
so this is where we did the research. This is where we put in, and this is the time, and this is where we really guarantee our parents that or parent that we are working with the absolute best in every
yeah,
part. And we do what we do in Ukraine. We work with the best doctors and facilities for each stage.
mm,
So our embryologists are at different places than our surrogate care and different places than our birth centers.
mm.
And because we work with multiple facilities, we can move that if we're, either unhappy or have a
Yeah.
different situation or whatever it might be. But they
Yeah.
even have, um, uh, okay, I'm going to even get this wrong. The big baths for giving birth in water.
Birth pools. Yeah, I think
Yes, birth pools.
yeah.
I'm always translating it from Ukrainian or
I
Russian,
know,
and
but
it's like
I do this from the German. I'm like, is it the same? Let's hope it's the same.
it is. You're right. You're absolutely right. So it's very modern, and I think everyone would be really, really surprised. And
Yeah.
so we really protect in that sense. We have a team there on the ground that similarly, that goes to every single appointment,
Yeah.
that is with the selection process. And boy, I will tell you, they have not learned about surrogate testing and yet. And um, the amount of surrogate testing when we started, they just like their eyes were wide. They're like, oh my God, no one's ever done this testing. Are you crazy? And so we've had to add on something like 34 tests to what they did. Um, so, but we have to do that to ensure success. We don't want, and that's just a learning
Yeah.
experience. And probably in 10 years, it'll be more. But even in Ukraine, we do, we do a lot more testing than anyone else. Um, the cool thing is because we have our long-term relationship, excuse me, long-term footprint in Ukraine, we're able to offer Caucasian donors, Ukrainian donors.
Mm.
So
That
we,
would have been my next
yeah,
question because obviously some people like don't mind and some people ask for certain things and that's fine, but other people want to have the Caucasian look,
mhm,
obviously, for their
yeah,
baby to match their
yep, of
family.
course. And so what we do is we do the embryology in Ukraine and then ship the embryos down to Ghana. And because one of the things that no one in Ghana offers is um, uh, PGD,
Mm.
which is the testing of the embryos for any abnormalities, genetic
Yeah.
abnormalities, genetic testing, and also, as you know, allows gender selection, which is legal there, but not legal, I know, in
Yes.
Germany.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that answers some of my questions. Are there other, I'm just looking at my list of notes that I made, and there's like recommendations when you're considering surrogacy in Ghana. Do you have any?
Um, uh, I mean, I think the biggest recommendation is that you do some research on Accra, the capital where everything is located. I think that will assuage or comfort you. It was
Mm.
do you know it was one of the top 10 places the New York Times recommended for vacations in
Oh,
yes, in 2023. We were like, ooh,
amazing.
we're so cutting edge.
Fantastic.
We're ahead of the trend. So please do some research. I know that it's really easy to have preconceptions, but if you do the research into Accra and Ghana, I think you'll be like really I think your judgments or the things you're thinking as soon as you think Ghana will will be changed for you. And I think that that little bit of education can give you a lot of comfort. Um, on our YouTube channel, we have photos and videos of the
Amazing.
facilities we use. We have interviews with doctors and embryologists.
Mm.
We have interviews with surrogates. And you'll just be able to see. And there, the surrogates are extremely entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
Christine. They start businesses. They So one woman we talked to, she was doing it again, and she set up this supermarket, and she wants to franchise it. So
Amazing.
yeah, so she wants to bring it to other cities, and yeah, it is super amazing. So she's gotten
Yeah.
her whole family working in this,
Yeah.
and she wants to spread it. And I'm like, this is awesome. So,
Yeah.
so many of the women there are starting businesses, expanding their
Mm.
businesses, and that's a lot of what they use this money for.
Yeah.
But they love the communication. It's something they're very surprised because no one offers, but they're like, oh, this is so amazing because I know that the parents really love and want this child or parent.
That was another question I wanted to ask about communication with the surrogate. Obviously, there's some rules in some countries that you're allowed, and some you're not, and some you people really want it. So, what are the? Can you just
Well,
start from the beginning and say
yeah.
what are the
Well,
rules in Ghana or
well,
your rules in
well,
Ghana, right?
almost no one allows it. Probably 80% of people, companies and agencies and clinics in Ukraine, and really we found no one that allows it in Ghana other than us.
Cool.
And I think that the big reason is that they don't trust their surrogates to not like potentially ask for more
Mm.
money or my big worry is that their surrogates are not up to par.
Okay.
Um, and that is always my worry because I always feel like if you're not 100% open with
Mm.
everything, so that even the parent can say, "Hey, what are you eating? Where, how are your accommodations?" Because they all stay in apartments, and we have cooks and cleaners for them.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, but I mean, still the parents can say, "Hey, what are you
Yeah.
eating?" To make sure that they have an. So it's the parents love it. The or parent, I've got to be careful. Parent, they love it because they know about the pregnancy, so they get
Mm.
pictures of the her stomach
Yeah.
growing. We have some amazing videos of like the stomach like moving like this.
Rotating. Yeah.
It looks like the child is like an alien
Oh, we
trying to get out.
say this every single time. It's like it's an alien in your body. It's so funny,
Yes.
isn't it? It just looks
Um,
like this.
And I mean, and I think a lot of parents feel sad that they're not able to participate in a way
Mm.
with that. And
Yeah.
so this brings them a lot closer to the child in those 9 months. We say it's not really about, forming this lifelong bond so much with a surrogate, although some people
Yeah.
will. Um, but we want you to be part of your child's development, during that period. And so
Yeah.
they can send photos, we like them to send reading children's books so
Mm.
that the child, they can hear very early so that
Yeah.
they can bond with their voices,
Mm.
music, so they send all these things and the
Cute.
surrogates will play
So
them to
sweet.
the child. Yeah, call them by their name. Some people name their children really
Okay.
early, and some people we have to force to come up with a name after the birth. But so we set up just a group, and they can chat. We can always Zoom, whatever, and they're free direct contact. So we don't interfere. It's
Mm.
not like what's the word? Control or block, the
Yeah.
communication in any way. And the surrogates also love it. A lot of the parents think, oh, I'm bothering the surrogate. I feel like I'm,
Mm.
intruding on her personal time. And we found it's totally the opposite. I mean,
Amazing.
obviously, if they're sleeping, they're not going to answer,
Yeah.
but they
So,
love it. They said that they say all of them that they are so happy to understand and be able to know that the parents love and want this
yeah.
child. And
Yeah.
they said that means so much to them.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
And
lovely.
yeah, they just because they said that when they don't have that communication, that it doesn't feel as precious and meaningful. It feels kind of even someone used the word transactional, and she
Mm.
says that's really not what this is about
Yeah.
for me. And
Yeah. That.
so she was this was someone that had was working with us, and they'd worked with a different
Mm.
agency, and that's what she said about her past pregnancy, and she's just so happy. She says this is so
Yeah.
meaningful that I can understand, who these people are, you know where they live,
Yeah.
their
It's also
history.
different. different culture. You learn a different culture of like it's such a nice exchange, isn't it? You
Yes.
just yeah, you learn about someone and something that you didn't know before, probably, which is also quite amazing.
Yeah, and you learn about, they all have to have children, so you learn about, like, their children and what they're doing. And it's just it's a way to really learn about the situation and your
Yeah,
child in a way that, I mean, I can't imagine not having communication after, the way we do it. Can you imagine, like, for 9 months I hear the reports, but I have no real communication. I mean,
no,
for me, that's just like really, I don't know,
hard. Yeah,
uncomfortable.
it's hard.
Um,
Yeah, I could
yeah,
imagine that. Yeah, yeah.
but that's the way it's all done in
Mm,
Ghana. Um,
mm,
I think it's really, and most people, even if you ask them about it, they get all prickly and like, there's no way. So, I think, and then there's always the worry anywhere around the world to make sure that they're treated ethically and
yeah,
amazingly, that they want to do
yeah,
this for sure for the right reasons, that the people in their lives know that they're doing this so that they could support them
yeah,
emotionally.
yeah,
Um, and that they're proud to be this, and most importantly, and I hate to say this, but that they're receiving the money.
yeah.
We still have people, I mean, I urge everyone to go to our Trustpilot page and read. We're so proud that the surrogates write reviews with their own
Oh,
names.
amazing.
And yeah, but I'm shocked at how often they will say it's great working with Delivering Dreams because they pay on time. And I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
does that mean does that mean other people truly, either don't pay
yeah,
in full or on time? So then you can be totally, there's everything's totally open between you and your surrogate. So you can even ask her, hey, are you, are you
yeah,
receiving are you receiving your payments each month? Are you super
yeah.
happy? Are you getting enough food? What
How
are your
spicy is the food you're eating?
Oh, they love their spicy food, but it's not outrageous, but it is. I mean, I love spicy food, but it's really delicious. And they don't drink coffee. I mean, there's all these neat things. They don't drink. You cannot get a cup of coffee in the morning. Um, they drink this very weird beverage that I still haven't kind of bonded with. Um, but I can
That's
understand in the cold weather why they might have different habits.
yeah.
Or excuse me, hot weather. What am I saying?
Okay. Um, what are the features of the surrogacy programs in Ghana? Can you talk a little bit of about that? And then we've nearly done half an hour already. I
Yeah.
don't know. We always
Um, so I know we always go on and on, Christine.
yes.
So we have different programs, and you can ship if you already have embryos. You can ship embryos and do the surrogacy over there. You only have to come once to pick up your
Mm,
child. We help you do all the documentation for the exit process, no matter what country you're from.
mhm,
And again, no matter whether you're single or married, um, and independent of what type of partnership or marriage that is, or if you're not married. And so we also have programs where you can use your own if you are a couple or a partnership where you want to use your own eggs and sperm. You
mhm,
can do that. You can do a donor program where you can use a local donor. And we have the majority of our clients are either single men or single women,
mhm,
although we do have some couples that aren't married, but they use a donor in most, I think almost all of them have used a donor in Ukraine.
yeah.
So we've done the IVF, the retrieval of eggs, obviously the IVF, and the PGD for genetic testing, and then ship them to Ghana,
Mhm,
where they then choose which embryo to transfer. Hey, this is one really interesting thing that I learned over the years is that uh, the bodies, I don't know, God, this is going to sound really weird. Um,
Bring it on.
bring it on. Well, different cultures have different body types.
Hmm.
And Ghanaian women are much more carrying twins is much safer and more common than
Okay.
in Ukraine, where in Ukraine it's I don't want to say dangerous, but it's really, really, really hard because they can get there's so many problems that can happen. They're mostly born premature, which
Mm,
means they don't have some cognitive development, the children, and it's really hard on the surrogate. Most
mm,
surrogates will not actually agree to it because they can have diseases that kind of linger after the pregnancy. But in Ghana, they do not have this problem. So for
interesting.
people, yeah. So for people that are interested in twins, it's a really good option and it's much safer.
That's interesting. Yeah.
In fact, it's very common, and most of our clients are going that avenue. I mean, obviously, if you do two embryos, you don't know that doesn't
No.
ensure twins, but
It's important
two embryo
to
implantation,
say, but
yeah.
yeah.
But in most areas, the guidelines are one embryo is going to be much more successful. But what we're finding found in Ghana is that with two embryos, that is effective, safe, and carrying twins in for Ghanaian women is much more successful. Uh, Not premature births and not complications. So that's a real
Amazing.
plus too. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I find this fact super interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I
Yeah, I
learned something
know.
new.
It's just different
Yeah,
body types around the world,
yeah,
and I mean,
yeah,
when the outside, pictures, and when you get a profile, you get pictures, pictures of their
yeah,
children, their information, their age, obviously information about their children, their hobbies. We try to give education. We try to give as much information as we
yeah,
possibly can. And from the outside look, I mean, I don't, there's nothing that would lead you to think this, obviously, but
yeah.
I guess
Biology
uh,
is fun. That's why it is
biology
like that.
is a mystery. Biology is a
Yeah,
mystery, but that's another advantage over some
yeah,
areas of the world for people that are really interested in twins.
yeah. That's really interesting. I think this is the most fun fact we can stop this live with.
That's true. That's true. That's very, very true. And we're excited to go to the conference because I think Ghana is so new that definitely stop by and talk to us about it. If you're anxious, like I said, look up Ghana, look up
Yeah.
Accra. Um, you'll check and you'll be shocked that it's a very modern place with English speaking native. Um, and they have toilets, Christine.
That's really important. We
Yes,
all
yeah.
love a toilet, and
So,
it's a very it's such a German
so
question. I can
I know
imagine
it's
it's
the
asked as well.
first, Christine. The funniest fact, again, one you can leave on, is we used to have to do videos of like we did this video montage about 20 years ago of toilets in Ukraine.
I mean, saying that, I've seen you do a live the other day about the pharmacy in the Ukraine and what you can get in there. That I found that interesting as well because obviously people are worried because of the war that there's low
Yeah,
stock, and it is the opposite.
yeah, and I think it's the same for Ghana, where people are like, oh my
Yeah,
God, they probably
yeah,
don't have modern medicines, they probably don't have this, this, and this. And they have huge supermarkets just like anywhere in the world and huge pharmacies. And it would be like walking into anyone in Germany,
yeah,
Austria, or the US.
yeah,
It's just a perception. So
definitely.
it's an exciting opportunity for truly everyone.
Yes,
Um, so I'm excited
well,
to be there and share this.
definitely, definitely speak to Susan,
And
meet her.
it's probably one of the most affordable because the economy is um, even like in a perspective to Ukraine, it's even less expensive.
That's an interesting point as well for a lot of people. So it is worth talking to Delivering Dreams at the Wish for a Baby event in Berlin on the 2nd and 3rd of March. I'm just repeating myself in case anyone hasn't got their tickets yet. They're free. So come and visit us and talk to Susan, talk, yeah, about all of the different programs, talk to the surrogate mom that's on the stand, which is amazing. and just find out why people do this amazing journey for other people. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you there.
Yep, I'm so excited. We'll see you there
Bye.
soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.